Okay, so now that I got through all of the introductions on the previous live and the disclaimers about me and who I am and yada yada. Okay, so I'm going to give, as a survivor of narcissistic abuse, I am going to give some tangible examples of how cognitive dissonance can be created in a real time example, so that for some of you that are survivors and you're moving into thriving, or you're just trying to unravel some of the things and you're questioning, how did this happen? How did you miss that these people would have it in them to do this to you? How, like, you go through that initially. So I'm going to give a real time example of how it can be created. Okay. And as y'all move forward, you'll be able to like apply it to real time situations a little bit better. Okay. So cognitive dissonance can be created when if you're dealing with, okay, so from this perspective, it's talking about belief systems, okay, right? Clashing. Now, also what you believe about a person, what you've come to know and believe about a person based on the history and based on what they've, said and did, okay? Cognitive dissonance can also be created in this manner. So here is an example, okay? Let's say it is your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, okay, right? I'm gonna give you a layout so you can make sense of it. So let's say a sibling reached out and offered to assist you. They offered to have you to come stay with them so you can get, restart your life over, rebuild, get reestablished, and you do it. Okay. And, because you're thinking, okay, this is my relative, and there's who, initially you're thinking, so who would ask or who would put themselves out there or make themselves available to assist you if they really had it in for you, because that does not make sense. Okay, so you take the offer and you go stay there. And as you go stay there, okay, all these little weird, odd things keep happening. Your energy doesn't feel right. You notice, little things that are happening, little even things about them that's kind of off and not right. Okay. But at the same time, there's this energy and appearance of they're offering their hand to help you. They allowed you to go there, or they gave you some money for a car or a down payment. So it's all these conflicting energies, because how could someone who offered that and gave monies be someone that had it in for you or to do something to hurt you? Okay, that's still lurking. And let's say in this scenario, you're sitting down on a holiday in a chair and you're just not feeling right, because really it's stuff that they're doing. You don't know that yet, but you're sitting there, feeling some kind of way. And then this person, the sibling, comes walking down that hallway near where you are, where you would definitely have wind or ear to hear them say this as you're going through something and sitting in this chair. And they come down the hallway and you hear them say this, like in a religious way, in a Jesus-y spiritual religious way. You hear them say, "Oh, what's wrong with my sister, Lord? I don't know what's wrong with my sister, Lord." So by hearing them, I'm trying to help you all understand a picture of how cognitive dissonance could happen in these types of scenarios. By you having wind, because now this person knows you have wind, because we're talking about sociopathic energy. We're talking about psychopathic, narcissistic energy. That was planted. Okay? You don't know that. But since you hear that, that's a seed to give you the impression and the energy that, okay, that's they're not the ones doing anything to me. They care about me. They're concerned about me. Now it's kind of weirdy when it all falls out of the bag that that person was actually behind while you were feeling and experiencing whatever that was when you were sitting in that chair. And the reason why I feel this is important to share for the collective, because in real time, in real life, you're not just sitting up there looking at terms and definitions. And in real life and in real time, especially when you're dealing with covert style of abusers that's trying to gaslight you and confuse you about what's going on, they are going to have the appearance or try to sow seeds subtly to you to make you feel like they're not the ones doing anything to you. This is one of the most pervasive and insidious things that these types of abusers do. This is a part of why their karma is not going to be, or their retribution is probably going to be a lot of hell for their latter years of life. Because the insult to injury to that person sitting there not understanding why they're experiencing something, then the person that's behind it comes down and behind them to try to sow a subtle seed of I care and I'm concerned for you, which keeps this person trusting that this person has their best interest at heart, no matter what the differences are, which is dangerous because that person is obviously not trustworthy. They're obviously, you see what I'm saying? So it puts you in harm's way. But listen, here's the good news. The good news as we move forward in life is now, by way of you learning about that and awareness, you know that we can't just take stuff at face value anymore. It's not about being cynical. It's not about looking for things wrong. We just simply know that just because somebody is walking around saying, acting like they care, just because somebody is offering you something, just because somebody is seemingly helping you, doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have hidden dishonor. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it is what it appears. But now that you guys have a practical example of how it actually plays out, you'll be able to have a point of reference moving forward. Just because somebody offered to help me, don't mean they always have the best intentions. Don't mean that they're not simultaneously hurting me. Just because they talking about, oh, what's wrong with my sister Jesus, don't mean that they're not the ones who did the shit to cause something to be wrong. It's called sociopath. That's what it's called, sociopath. Okay? It's called psychopath. And it's all designed to keep you confused so you can keep trusting, so that you can doubt yourself. This is why this is abuse. So that you can doubt yourself and so that you can keep trusting. And if that's the case, then you will keep allowing access because you believe that the person has your best. You see how they try to do that? It's this energy of throw the rock, hide their hand, reach down their hand to act as if they're here to assist you. They care for you. Walking down that hallway while you're in the room sitting down and you getting wind in your ear, what they're saying, that was a plant and it was intended so that you can feel like, oh, this person cares and concerned. But that's the person that was doing the ritual work and the spells on you and your children and what was creating all of this offness that you had started experiencing the moment you went there. The moment you went there. this is how it's created. It can be. When we have a belief about a person based on our past experience and based on our relationship and also based on what they're saying, what they're trying to plant, okay? They gave you some money for a car, a down payment. They offered you to come stay in their home. Everything about that says, I'm trying to help you. That I'm concerned, that I care, I'm trying to help you on the surface. And as you start to feel the and the weirdness of what the fuck did I agree to and step into, and you're sitting there on a Christmas Eve, or whenever that day is, and then they walk down the hall and they say something, there's their seed, there's their plant, knowing that you would hear it, to further convince you that they're Jesus-y, number one, because this is somebody that possibly wanted to seem super Jesus-y and super spiritual, possibly was always a spiritual hater. So then they'll say, oh, Lord, what's wrong with my sister? What's wrong with my brother? What's wrong? And this is, it's vibrating into your hearing. Okay, that person cares. That's dangerous, and it's a setup. And I just want to say once again, we're not going to get this perfectly. Once again, I want to say this for those of you that have experienced anything like that on a serious scale, where this was, blood relatives. I am sorry that you have been subject to such mental illness, to such abuse at the hand of your mentally ill relatives. Because that's betrayal trauma. It's double abuse. They're doing things in the background, pretending to not do it and trying to convince you. Throw the rock, hide your hand, reach down your hand to act as if you're helping. And the world only sees the hand in which they reached down to act as if they're helping. The world does not see all of the other true and background energy. So chances are these are the communal narcs. And so it's like triple abuse. It's quadruple, because then you deal with the world and society that's ignorant, that's believing all of their lies and their smear campaigns and, singing their praises and all of that stuff. That's insult to injury, because meanwhile, you've experienced what you've experienced. This person's been doing what they've been doing. When you move forward, keep all these things in your toolkit, and we revisit it as we need to, because again, it's life. But at least if we all could just get past this very sweet but naive thought that if people are helping me, then it means that they care. If people are helping me, it means that they love me. If people are helping me, it means that they have my best interest at heart. If people are giving me a helping hand, it means that they wouldn't do any harm. That's sweet. But that's not the world we live in. We live in a world full of sociopaths, full of opportunists. full of narcissists, full of people that's just disturbed, fucked up. And they don't know how to heal in life. And so what they do is live their life on bullshit and fuckery and trying to trap people and take from people and you know, and they will utilize seeming to care and take advantage of any vulnerabilities that they have actually in the background possibly even helped to create, so that you could come to them, because especially as it pertains to family, because in the most natural, healthiest sense, they should be the last ones on earth to do any harm to you. And they also know that it will be a challenge for anyone to believe that they would when they are covert. And they are the biggest givers in the community. And they're always helping this underprivileged population, and they're always helping people get loans and homes, and they're always, you know, helping people or donating to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and serving at the church, and, you know, always calling all the family members for all of the holidays, and always making gumbo and macaroni and cheese. And, you know, when you have that as their uniform and persona, then the world, unfortunately, buys that before they'll buy what these people actually are and how they actually are and what they did to you. It's all to fuck you in the head and to keep you allowing yourself to be susceptible to them. Abusing you in the background, you sense it and feel it. Things start to happen. Sitting in the chair, they walk down the hallway and say a little prayer. They say, "Oh, what's wrong with my sister, Lord?" Yeah, I knew that you would hear that. Again, they were a spiritual hater. This was somebody who possibly was jealous of your spirituality. They wanted it to be them. This is why when they would go in and see, they would put on these performances, and because religion is prevalent there and prevalent with those members, it's a performance. Back to what I'm saying. But it's all designed to keep you going, questioning yourself. Surely it can't be them. They gave me $1,000 to down payment. Surely it can't be them. They offered me to come stay here. Surely they can't. Surely. But you already started to see it in their behavior and little things here and there, and the things that started to occur that was not otherwise occurring. It's so that you would be confused. And who do that? Psychopaths. Sorry. Psychopaths, sociopaths. And there's people that don't want to accept that they have psychopaths and sociopaths in their family. That's a part of the problem too. Because who does that? A psychopath? A sociopath? The world majority, mass majority of this world, the 3D based world and 3D based humans, surface. This is why they're convinced that people who, like I said, for all intents and purposes, these are the people, the biggest philanthropists, at least so it seems. They're always trying to help somebody get a loan. They're always trying to help somebody get home. They're always trying to help some, little old lady, some little old man. They're always trying to check on all the family members. They're always, doing this and that, doing extra, doing this, Obama's 2.0. They're always doing That's called communal narcissism. Communal narcissism. And the more educated we get about this and the more we accept that not all acts of kindness is coming from a place of true kindness. Some of it is designed for traps to stall, stagnate, steal, and hurt people. There are people that are sabotaging people's lives so that someone will have to go and act so and so that could have access to the person in order to give them poison, in order to drop some weird shit on them or at their house, in order to do, recon or whatever. As you continue to heal, you're going to possibly look back and remember that you had feelings, like the things that we have been conditioned to not trust and believe anymore. As you reflect, you're going to realize that you were feeling all some kind of way throughout the very entire thing in these situations. There was subtle offness. There was this eerie, subtle energies that made you feel like something's not right. Something's not right with them. Something is not right with this help. Something is not right. And that's what we are retraining as we're healing, to realize that's there to save our lives in some of these cases. Okay? Because we want to bypass as much as we can. You're not nuts. You all were dealing with sociopaths and psychopaths. And I'm not one of these people that want to call everybody that just on some GP shit of, I don't like this person, or this person is a little rude, or they're a little bit vain and arrogant, or they're just a little bit of a jerk. There's a vast difference. I've dealt with those types of people too that are not necessarily, I would not necessarily classify them as a narc or a sociopath, because they're not abusive per se. They're just a jerk. They're just an asshole. But this behavior that we're talking about here, they're definitely in one of those classifications. Machiavellianism, the dark triad. You can't get down like this example and not be in one of these sick and pervasive categories here. And many of us come from families that don't want to be discovered. They wanted a scapegoat to be the one looked upon as crazy, to take on their mental illness. And so they spoke it over the collective. They did the destiny swappy shit. These are families that don't want, that never has. This has been an ancestral thing. And there's always one or two that they would pick out of the bloodline to be the scapegoat of the true mental illness in the bloodline, the true dysfunction, the true fucked upness. And the scapegoats are usually the starseed, the indigo, the earth angels, and the eccentric ones, the ones, and they know that the world is just stupid enough to buy it. they cover. These are sociopathic families. And they have these deep, dark secrets, especially if it goes down to like parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. Like, because some of us, that's the real truth. That's the real deepest secret of all. It's not so much just the spell work. It's that the motherfucker is really, really, really mentally ill. The greatest secret of all. To such an extent that they have always been abusive, sick mental illness that's been hidden. In some cases, it was spell work done for that. And as I mentioned, with the destiny swapping and all of that shit, the projection and the swap, that was a part of it. Hide this, hide this. Well, guess what? I am on team no more. And a part of me being on team no more, I'm going to continue to give true to life examples of what I've experienced in real time so that you all can see what this looked like, how it plays out in life versus just a bunch of terms and definitions. Okay. All right, guys.